The first step. The first step is about your first dream. The first step is about believing in yourself. The first step is about accepting your first compliment with grace. The first step is about encouraging others with your stories. Hi, all, this is Hasni. I'm young reporter of the Brain Feed magazine. And if you're new here, this is a channel where I interview young achievers. Hi, everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Hasni. So, today in the history, for the first time, we have twins joining us, and they are Harpit and Harpita. Harpit and Harpita, they both are young entrepreneurs and have their own company at a very, very young age. And both of them are spell bee experts. We usually see children who participate in spell bee, but these children at a very young age conduct spell bee competitions. I'm so curious to hear from them. So let's all put our hands together to welcome Harpita and Harpit. Hi guys, how are you?
We're doing really great.
Very good. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. Both myself and the people would like to know about you. So please introduce yourself to the people.
Sure, I think
Sure.
you go ahead.
Hello, I'm Harpit.
And I'm Harpita.
And you might have already guessed, we're popularly known as the Great Australian Spell Bee Twins. We're avid motivational speakers, and currently we are the founders of an edtech company, Classmice.
That's right. So we have an immense vision of creating the next generation of young achievers and leaders and creating this huge impact on millions of students globally. I think we're going to be talking a lot about that in the session today. But yes, that's exactly who we are, and we're great to be sharing our learning experience to inspire students as well.
And I mean, that's really great. Thank you for being here, first of all.
Sure.
I have a sibling, and we always have different opinions, and we fight for each and everything. How does it go with you?
Yeah, so both of us, we don't really get into fights. We would just usually share opinions. So I think this would be what it will come down to.
That's right. So we actually make a really good team, and I think throughout this entrepreneurial journey, that's something that's super important, right? A core team is exactly what's important, and us being twins and siblings as well, it gives us that additional advantage and that connection that helps us actually reach our vision together.
So I think both of us being twins, we would have similar opinions.
Yeah, of course, because I think that's something which I have to learn to do great teamwork, which I completely don't have. So here's a lesson for me, I think. Tell us about your experience on Australia's Channel 10 and your vocabulary of 15,000 words.
So I think before we go over with our experience in the Great Australian Spell Bee, we would like to share our whole learning journey. So this would be really inspirational to all the students who are watching.
Yep, definitely. Please tell us about your history and when did you actually realize what you wanted to be now?
That's right. I think as entrepreneurs, every entrepreneur has this one incident or one experience that sparks that curiosity or that idea, that learning experience. So we're going to share ours. I think Harpit will take us through that.
So our whole spelling journey started at the young age of 3 when we wanted to actually enrich our vocabulary. So we wanted to learn a wide variety of words. And at the age of 3, we would mainly play a lot of word games with our whole family after dinner. And I clearly remember one of those word games was 3D words, which basically consisted of 3 or 4 blocks of words, and you had to find what those words were. So these games were tiny, but these games were the ones that sparked curiosity in us. And again, I would like to reiterate on the fact that our whole journey is curiosity driven. And this brings me to a point on one of our other activities. It was a build a word game activity. And I think we're pretty familiar with the word misunderstanding. So we would have competitions between ourselves on who would find the most words for misunderstanding. So again, all these activities sparked curiosity in us. And then we started to get curious about all the words that we learned. So for example, if you take a word, we want to know the definition of the word, what it meant, the origin, where that word, from what place did that word come from. We want to know the phonetics, the origin, and then any word roots we can put together to make up a specific word. So this is where our whole spelling journey began. And then after this, we participated participated in the Great Australian Spelling Bee competition. So I would say the Great Australian Spelling Bee was a revolutionary experience, and it was almost like a roller coaster ride.
Was that our learning journey was really built on passion and curiosity. That's something we want to put across. Curiosity is so important because it drives, our motivation to learn, right? So our entire learning journey was based off of this curiosity to find out, what do these words mean? Why were some words so long? Why are some words are so short, right? It's these tiny things, playing word games, that really sparked this whole learning journey. And as Harpreet mentioned, the Great Australian Spelling Bee was kind of a life-changing experience, because really that kind of set off the rest of our motivations for our learning journey today. That is, becoming entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, definitely. Our aim is to share the knowledge that we have acquired about spelling and language to students all around the globe so they can get inspired, and we want to invent the next generation of young achievers.
That's
and
right. We're
that's
going
our
to
main
be
vision.
reiterating that a lot, but that's simply what our vision comes down to. And coming to our word bank of over 50,000 words, now it might sound like such a strenuous task for a lot of people, but to be honest, it isn't, because another point here, it was the joyful learning experience. Our whole learning experience was built off of passion and joy that we have accumulated over the past years, over the past 8 years. You have to ask questions. That's the most important thing that we would actually tell students. That is, ask questions and be curious, because that's what's going to inspire you on your learning journey, right?
Definitely very true, guys, because you mentioned that it might look insane for people, but this whole learning process was joyful and passionate for me.
That's right.
Definitely true. And a great pass. You're very, very passionate about what you want it to be. That's really great. What are the few ideas on which Class Minds Peloton operates, and what are the subjects taught over there?
Okay.
Please talk about those.
Sure. So before we dive into Class Minds Peloton, we would like to give an overview of our edtech company, Class Minds. So in simpler terms, the philosophy of Class Minds is connect, share, inspire. So we want students to come together to connect, collaborate with their peers, and then we want them to share their knowledge. That's exchange in information. This is what it all comes down to. Now, after they exchange information, they inspire other students to do the same thing as them. So I would like to mention an example here. So for example, if a student sees one of their peers participate in a competition and get a reward for it, that student would be motivated to do the same thing. So this is the philosophy that we operate on.
That's right. So we're bringing in this revolutionary learning approach of peer-to-peer collaborative learning, right? And I think we actually have quite a practical experience on this. So we're actually motivational speakers, and in the past 5 years, we have been doing motivational talks at schools, spelling workshops, and all those really fun experiences that we have been providing to students. Now, in these workshops and in these motivational talks, we can recount a specific activity that we did. And I remember when we called out for volunteers, right? So we called out for a couple of volunteers. We, asked for maybe 10 of them. And at first, the students were quite hesitant. So there were a lot of students. We did talks for over 2,000 students, and it was the whole school. They were all very interactive. But when we asked for volunteers who had to come up on the stage, some were really hesitant. We got maybe 10 volunteers at the most. So then after these kids, after these students saw their peers having a good experience on stage and learning learning with joy, after they saw this, in our next activity, when we called out a few volunteers, we practically saw the whole school come up. Right? So this actually sparked such a turning point, especially for Class Minds, because we saw every student has that motivation. They had that talent in them. Every student has that potential to become young achievers and leaders. Now, it's just about helping students acquire these skills. It's just about learning with joy. You can be whoever you want. You can learn whatever you want, but be passionate about it. That's what we're trying to put across.
People follow us. That's really true. Being educators, how important do you think is learning language and communication?
Okay, I think now we're coming to Class Minds, and this is probably one of the most significant parts or most significant principles of Class Minds. That is the English language and communication and just your basic fundamental language skills. So this actually serves as a turning point, because what do we understand from this? We're technically saying or telling students that you don't have to have communication skills to go into, whatever profession or whatever career you want. And hence, what are we doing? we want to avoid all of that. And that's why as class minds, we want to help every student globally enrich their spelling and language skills. But definitely talking about India, countries like India in specific, if we're able to empower students with these crucial communication and life skills, we're going to be solving the problem of unemployment. Unemployment is one of the biggest problems in India especially, and if we can do this, we will be eliminating this problem of unemployment in the next years. We're going to be looking at completely eliminating it by empowering today's students. That's exactly the core beliefs. So yes, communication is definitely the most significant skill.
Yeah, definitely. And I would like to mention a point here saying that communication skills are needed more now than ever. And in today's world, communication skills isn't considered as an option. So the acquisition of communication skills isn't becoming an option that students can opt for. It's an absolute necessity. It's something that every student needs in today's world.
That's right. So it was a great point mentioned by Harpreet, that is, communication skills are undeniable.
But there is one particular attribute that connects all of these professions, careers, aspirations, and dreams, and that is communication.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't have an option for communication because end of the day it all comes to communication. And thank you for the explanation. It was really good. As well as me, I'm able to understand the importance of communication now. And being young entrepreneurs, what were the initial challenges you faced? Because in life, if you want to be successful, we automatic challenges come, we have to face. And then we could be down, there could be ups and downs, but then end of the day it comes to success. So what are the initial challenges you faced?
Okay, so for this question, I would like to bring out a statement saying that your learning journey won't be fulfilled without enduring challenges. So although we might have endured some minute problems, nudges throughout our way to achieve our goal, we must focus on the major prospect that's going unnoticed nowadays, and that is self-belief. So what is self-belief? The self-limits that you set for yourself. Because only when you focus on the global prospects that are out there in the world, you can actually make a difference and make an impact on the lives of students around the world.
That's right. So again, age is just a number. And as I mentioned, numbers are important, yes, in entrepreneurship especially, but age specifically is not something that should
Yeah, so all you need is the passion and determination and the goal to do it, then you can achieve it.
And I think we
Nothing
proved
stops
it,
you.
really. We really proved it because the past 8 years, everything that we've been doing is adding up to this learning experience, and it's our passion and our hard work that we're putting in, and our soul specifically, right, into empowering the next generation of young achievers and leaders.
Definitely true, very true, and very motivational. Thank you so much for that. And what are your future plans? Like in the next 10 years, what and all changes do you guys hope to bring in this Indian education system?
We want to bring across a statement here, actually, that is, the history of our past is not going to be as important as the dreams of our future. Now, what do we mean by this? We see our educational systems today. Now, some of them could argue and say that some of them are ineffective. We have a lot of ineffective learning approaches that people are already trying to solve today, right? And then we have effective approaches that are working today. So we have a lot of effective approaches that are working towards helping students in some way. So the learning methods today aren't going to keep up with what's required in the future. Now, there was a statement that over 1 million jobs just maybe in America alone are going to be lost in the future because they could be replaced by this advancement of technology, right? We're looking at the rapid progression of technology, AI especially, and we're going to see that a lot of jobs are going to be taken over. So the jobs that we have today, they're not even going to exist tomorrow. Most of them are not even going to exist in the future. So our goal here is that you need to think ahead. We're not just focusing on revolutionizing the way kids learn in the present. We're focusing on creating the next generation of young achievers and leaders.
We want to empower every student with communication skills so that they can be work ready in the future. This is our end goal.
That's right. And not just communication skills, but it was good that Harpreet brought that up because our other point is the fact that we want to bring in how we're actually revolutionizing the pedagogy in this whole learning experience of students, right? But what we are trying to do is we're trying to create the next generation of young achievers and leaders and students who can not only acquire knowledge, who are not only knowledgeable, smart, you could say, but students who know how to pass that knowledge on to others, who know how to teach their experience, teach their learnings on to the next generation of students. That is, what is learning? Learning is not just acquiring information. Yeah, I can't say that I'm learning just if I acquire information. That's a term that we all maybe throw around today. But a true learner or a true learning experience is you're acquiring information and then you're teaching that information to somebody else who would then go on to teach it to someone
Yeah,
else.
exactly. And this is exactly what we're promoting through Class9. So we're promoting this whole unique collaborative learning experience. And in this collaborative learning experience, we provide students with that peer-to-peer learning environment. And as you know, when students collaborate with their peers, they exchange information, and those peers will share that information to their friends. And this is exactly what we're promoting.
So yeah, that's exactly. So we are looking towards immense growth in the next 10 years.
Yeah, and we would love to embark on a revolutionary journey.
Yeah, so with the modules that Class9 is going to bring out, especially in just the coming year, we are truly going to revolutionize the way kids learn. So it is going to be
So again, we're reiterating on the fact that we're reinventing the pedagogy
of learning.
All the best for that, and I mean, I really appreciate, because creating a better world from now, you have a great mindset, and feel very proud to interview you. First of all, please tell us about your future goals.
Sure. So in the years to come, we would like to pursue this path of entrepreneurship, as our dad is also an entrepreneur. And our whole goal is to make an impact on students around the world. So this is exactly what entrepreneurship is all about. And along with entrepreneurship, we're also inclined to the field of tech, with artificial intelligence and deep learning, as we believe that these aspects will surely emerge into the future of mankind. It's going to be the future.
It's going to be the future, and we've all heard of it today. But yes, so we will probably be taking up entrepreneurship, and why keep these two things as separate professions. Why keep them as separate careers? We could be an entrepreneur who goes into tech. We can create revolutionary ideas, inventions, right? So it's important that we can blur the lines between just specific cut out molds, right? We are creating the next generation of students, and we aspire to be that role model. So we're not just looking towards a fixed path. That is, explore the path not taken, right? We look at founders who are super successful today, such as, let's take Elon Musk. He's exploring a path that has never been explored, and now building self-landing rockets. It sounds like something that could have been impossible, but we look here today and see that it's something that we have
achieved. He had achieved it, and he was the first one to do it.
That's right. So it's important, we have to encourage students to go after what is impossible.
I hope the best for you. And now it is an important question. There could be thousands and thousands of children like you, but something could stop them being successful like you. So what would you like to tell them?
Okay, I think this is exactly what Class9's tend to is something that we have seen. I think I explained it in that experience when it came to schools, right? That is, every student has potential. But what stops them? What differentiates them from the people who we call young achievers today? One, it's that they don't get recognition, but two, maybe it's that skills gap. The fact that they are not equipped with the skills to showcase themselves. It's quite simple. That is why Class9, we strive to equip them with the fundamentals. We stress so much about fundamentals because that's where you should begin, right? Think about building a skyscraper, something like that.
So we can empower each student with these communication skills to be work ready.
That's right. You see, once you bridge the skills gap in this fundamental area, then you can do whatever you put your mind to, right? There's nothing stopping you then. So at that point, it's only your self-limits. But here, what we're looking at is a true skills gap. There is a lack of knowledge, a lack of exposure to the correct learning methods, to advanced ideas in learning, right? So once we can bridge the skills gap, students are independent learners. We all learn on our own, and that's how we're going to grow, essentially.
Definitely inspirational. Thank you so much for the talk. First of all, it was very motivating, and I hope that people watching this will also feel that. So now I have 2 to 3 questions. So now I have some few interesting questions for you. I have an interesting question. Who is more competitive in between you?
Okay, well, that's actually a question that we get asked quite a lot, if not surprising. But to be honest, we are both competitive, as
Yeah,
Robert
I
said.
would say we're both equally
We're
competitive.
both equally competitive, whether it comes to school, subjects, or a learning experience. But it's competitiveness in a good way, right? It's that kind of competitiveness that drives you to learn. It's like a motivation
Yeah,
almost.
yeah. So since we have that competitiveness between the both of us, we're embarking on this joyful learning journey.
Together, right?
Yeah.
It's not the kind of competitiveness that sparks arguments and contradictions and fights and all of that kind of stuff, but it's the kind of competitiveness.
I mean, I do have cousins who twins, but then they mostly like Tom and Jerry. They always fight, but then seeing you, it is definitely very very different from what I have seen. Thank you for being here, guys, and it was really motivational, and you both are very very inspiring. For the first time, I think I'm interviewing twins in the first test history, and it was very very special for me, and it should be a memorable moment for me. Thank you so much for being here. Over to you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having us here today, and we hope we've inspired a lot of students. That's exactly our goal. And yes, so we just want to share
Yeah,
our
and we-
learning journey.
And we hope that we've given students a spark to actually come up with something.
That's right. So it all begins with that little spark that's going to set ahead this entire flood of learning, right? So it all begins right there, and we hope to ignite it. We hope to be that motivation and inspiration for some of those students out there to ignite that spark.
Yeah, so I would say we're creating a revolution.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
You definitely did inspire a lot of children, and hope so you achieve a lot of great things. And with that, signing off, this is Hasini and Harpit and Harpita here. I'll see you next week with another person. Until then, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends and family. Turn on those post notifications because you don't have to miss me with another inspiring story. Until then, this is Hasini. Bye.